Hold on to your seats. We're heading back to the 60s and straight to the stars. Let's get into it. Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperCorns. I'm Nick Dorian. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Columbia Pictures and Apple Studios' latest film, Fly Me to the Moon. Now, this is a film that rarely gets seen nowadays, a very stylish rom-com set in the 60s that almost feels like it harkens back to the days of Doris Day and Rock Hudson. Taking place right in the middle of the heat of the space race, Fly Me to the Moon tells an alternate version of the moon landing story. While they prepare for their Apollo 11 mission landing straight to the moon, NASA decides to hire a marketing executive to help with getting government funding for their latest mission. Along the way, sparks will fly with the marketing executive and mission control leader as they work together to get a man on the moon. Exuding the same sort of charm and fun as films like Down with Love, You've Got Mail, or even Notting Hill, this is a film that you get to watch over and over and over again and really have a good time. And while this is very much a fictional story, there is a point where the line gets blurred between fact and fiction because some of these events actually genuinely did happen. While the space race was a very real competition between America and Russia to put a man on the moon, there were also several failed Apollo missions before 11 managed to get their 3 astronauts onto the moon. And on top of that, they also talk about the conspiracy theory that was the fake moon landing and how it was all directed and done in a soundstage on the NASA lot. So there are going to be points where you're going to question what actually did happen and what didn't, but to be fair, that doesn't really matter in a film like this. What matters is that you are having a good time, and Greg Berlanti has made sure we are all having a fantastic time. Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum are lifted straight off the golden screens of the 50s and 60s and honestly have such a great chemistry about them that you have such an amazing time just watching the two of them bounce off each other. It's a very old school Tinseltown Hollywood kind of relationship, and it honestly, I keep saying it over and over again, it really feels like a film from the 50s or 60s. At a runtime of about 2 hours and 11 minutes, you may think this is a fairly long film, but by the way it's structured as well as the tone and pacing of the film, you barely feel it. Berlanti has structured this in such a way that it moves at such a tight pace and manages to deliver not only some laughs but some very good emotional downbeats as well. Everything is put there for a reason. There are no dull moments and there's not a point where you're gonna feel, I need this to move a bit quicker. Everything flows so well. Trust me when I say this, you are not going to feel a moment of this. You're not going to feel like it's draggy. You're going to come out of it and wonder, did we really just sit through 2 hours and 10 minutes? I barely felt it. While you will be heavily entertained by this film, there's another thing that you might want to consider as well. The fact that it's slightly educational as well. If you have no idea about the space race as well as the Apollo 11 mission, this is a good way to educate you on what it actually is. While it does take a lot of liberty with the actual details of the mission, one thing is for certain, is that you get to see how important this mission was to America and how much joy it gave them that they actually managed to land a man on the moon. It was a scientific marvel at the time, and to see the emotions that people were getting in this film over just a rocket going to the moon truly tells you how much it mattered to everyone. At the end of the day, Fly Me to the Moon is a kind of film that you get to sit back, relax, and have a lot of fun with, and a classic in the making that you might rewatch over and over and over again just to feel that real good spirit. So do yourself a favor, Fly Me to the Moon comes out in Malaysian cinemas tomorrow, the 11th of July. I highly recommend this film. Go and watch it as soon as possible because you are going to have a fantastic fun time with this one. And as always, you can check us out on all social media. It's all on the screen at the moment: Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Go and follow and subscribe to those channels for more updates. Thank you so much again for watching. I am Nick Dorian, and until next time, keep watching the movies.